Hello and welcome to worship at West Parish of Barnstable United Church of Christ. My name is Pastor Christie Burns and I invite you to participate in worshiping with us. Today we are celebrating the second week of Advent. Our theme is Peace in the Wilderness. We will find ways to find peace while we are traveling through this Advent. Oh, dear ones, we are a people who can and will find ways to create peace together and apart. I invite you to light your own candles at home this week to remember that light is seen in the middle of the darkness. Both dark and light are powerful signs of God's peace, love, hope, and joy for us. I am still meeting in person in the Garden Chapel if you want to have a pastoral visit. We can bundle up and keep going as long as possible. I also love meeting people by phone, so just give me a call and we can meet by phone or Zoom or even FaceTime. And now I invite you to join Steve Gregory as he sings our opening song.
It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. O ye beneath life's crushing load, whose forms are bending low, who toil along the climbing way with painful steps and slow. Look now, for glad and golden hours come swiftly on the wing. Oh, rest beside the weary road and hear the angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on by prophets seen of old, when with the ever circling years shall come the time foretold, when the new heaven and earth shall own the Prince of Peace, their King, and the whole world send back the song which now the angels sing.
Our call to worship invites us to begin this journey of worship together towards the birth of Jesus. Oh, come, Emmanuel, come to us, for we are lonely for God. Come, bring the peace of God with us. Oh, come, wisdom from on high, lead us in the ways of knowledge and show us the paths of peace. Glorious shoot from the Jesse tree, come and bring life, fresh and green and lovely to our spirits. O rose which blooms in the snow of winter, come and grant to us the blessed gift of hope. O bright morning star of the darkened world, come and be for us the light of truth and the way. Jesus Christ, we welcome you. Come and be known among us, for we want to be your people. Amen. And I ask you to join me in our opening prayer. Gracious God, your vision of peace and wholeness comes to us in sweeping revelations and in tiny signs of hope. Kindle our hearts that we might be a hopeful people. Keep us from growing weary of waiting, lest we miss the glory of your appearing. Even so, come quickly, O God. Amen. And now please join Steve and Joan as we sing together responsively the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father,
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done,
on earth as it is
on
in
earth
heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread,
and forgive us all
and
our
forgive us
sins.
all our sins,
And lead us not
and lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
but
from
deliver
evil.
us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever
Forever
and ever.
and ever.
Our Father,
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
These next 3 weeks, we will be lighting the Advent candles here in the meeting house. Nice, Vanna. I invite you to light candles in your own home as well. Use whatever you have available. There is no need to have anything special or fancy. Today, light your candle for hope from last week. And we will light a candle for peace for this week. Here is today's Advent litany.
Because of war, because of violence in our communities, because there is still so much unrest in Jerusalem, we light a candle of peace.
Because hatred is still so strong, because so many swords have not yet been beaten into plowshares, we light a candle of peace.
May the light from this candle overwhelm the world.
May the light from this candle say to all that God's peace is coming on earth as it already is in heaven.
Friends, be not afraid. God's peace is at hand.
It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on. But it don't snow here, stays pretty green. I'm gonna make a lot of money, then I'll quit this crazy scene. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so long I would teach my feet to fly. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I made my baby cry. He tried hard to help me, he put me at ease, and he loved me so naughty it made me weak in the knees. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I'm so hard to handle, I'm selfish and I'm sad. Now I've gone and lost the best baby that I've ever had. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so long I would teach my feet to fly. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I made my baby say goodbye. It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, they're putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on.
Our reading for today comes from the Gospel according to Mark. We are at the opening chapter of Mark's Gospel. Mark gets right to the point in his writing style. He skips the birth narrative of baby Jesus and begins with John the Baptist as an adult in the wilderness. Mark draws from the Hebrew prophet Isaiah. John tells the people to repent and make the way straight. Listen to Pastor Reed share with us the gospel reading.
The beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. As it is written in the prophet Isaiah, "See, I am sending my messenger ahead of you who will prepare your way. The voice of one crying out in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight." John the Baptizer appeared in the wilderness proclaiming a baptism of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. And people from the whole Judean countryside and all the people of Jerusalem were going out to him and were baptized by him in the river Jordan, confessing their sins. Now John was clothed with camel's hair, with a leather belt around his waist, and he ate locusts and wild honey. He proclaimed, "The one who is more powerful than I is coming after me. I am not worthy to stoop down and untie the thongs of his sandals. I have baptized you with water, but he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit."
Joni Mitchell's achingly beautiful song, River, was covered by Christina Smith today. I want to share the reason why I chose that song to frame today's Advent message on peace. Joni Mitchell had just gone through a painful breakup when she wrote River. The melody riffs off of Jingle Bells, so the listener hears this song of sadness and longing for peace and immediately thinks of Christmas time. The song begins with these lines: "It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, they're putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace. Oh, I wish I had a river I could skate away on." In her beautiful singing, we hear her pain, seeing everyone around her hurrying to put up Christmas trees and light up the night with those lit reindeers that prance across people's yards. As a Canadian, she longs to escape it all, to skate off on the ice on a river that leads to the wilderness far away from the pain she is experiencing. When Christina sang this song, I reminded her of the saying that when we sing, we pray twice. I find that listening to music that matches my mood, even sadness, really helps. It helps me feel less alone. How do you use music to help you get in touch with the range of moods you are experiencing right now? This Advent season, like everything else in the past 8 months, is different. It's legitimate to be feeling down this season. One of the most beautiful aspects of the liturgical season of Advent is that it isn't all ribbons and bows and hyper happiness. It's deep, reflective, authentic. And there's a space for you wherever you're at. This week, our Advent theme is peace. Peace can be found in the quiet spaces that some of us are inhabiting right now. I know it's been super difficult to have remote learning happening for your children. Barnstable Schools just went all remote for the next 2 weeks. And I'm lifting up prayers for all the parents trying to juggle childcare, education at their home, and their jobs. This is so much. Some of us are grieving. We'll be without family members who have died. We'll be alone because we cannot gather as a family due to safety regulations. Into all of the challenges we are facing in the wilderness, the exile of being at home, let us breathe in and out. Again, breathe in and out. Emmanuel, God with us, is coming to bring us peace. Nothing, not a pandemic, not quarantine, not war, not hunger, nothing can stop God from entering into our lives again this Christmas. Our gospel reading comes from the gospel according to Mark. I love Mark as a writer. He's Mr. Keep It Short, just the facts, don't let flowery or slip it into long genealogies like Matthew, or go all esoteric and philosophical like John. Mark gets straight to the facts that matter to his telling of the story of the life of Jesus. And so, our reading comes from the first chapter of Mark. And surprise, there's no beginning story about baby Jesus, no telling about Mary's pregnancy or Elizabeth's pregnancy with John. Mark dives right in with telling his gospel with the prophet Isaiah's words that say, "See, I am sending a messenger ahead of you who will prepare your way, the voice of one crying out in the wilderness. Prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight." We learn that John the Baptist is an adult who lives in the wilderness. The wilderness in the text is a harsh, inhospitable place. It's also where John prefers to be. He's a wild man, someone who doesn't fit in with society. He wears camel hair coats and has a big beard and lives on honey and locusts. John the Baptist is not someone who fits in back in town. So it is into the wilderness at the River Jordan where we are called to investigate where we can find God among us when our paths seem uncertain. UCC theologian Cheryl Lindsay asked us to think about our current experience of being home so much and separated from one another as a form of exile. She writes, "Today we live in a form of exile that separates us from our normal routines, from those we love, and from the places that provide us comfort. The forced confinement and isolation of a global pandemic are not that different from the forced exile in Babylon. We have not been wrenched from our homes, we have been exiled there. So the return we desire is not so much to a place as to a way of being. We want to reclaim our version of normal. In some of our faith communities, that manifests as a reinvigorated desire to return to our church buildings, even as we experience an alarming rise in the cases across the country. Those physical spaces represent comfort and familiarity and normalcy. We may not be John the Baptist, but we have been traveling down this familiar path of exile from community in our own homes. This has been a wilderness time of the soul. So how do we find peace when it seems so hard to find? John the Baptist tells us how to begin. He tells the people to repent, to turn away from sin. Repentance, asking for forgiveness from those who have harmed, forgiving ourselves, asking forgiveness from God. These things are hard, but more importantly, they are liberating. When we confess that we've failed, that we've made mistakes, that we've screwed up, we are gathered back to the loving arms of God. God never stops loving us, but our sense of peace, the restoration of our souls, begins again. If you feel discouraged, if you feel lonely, if you despair, take it to the Lord in prayer. John the Baptist encourages us to prepare our hearts for Jesus, who is coming and coming very soon. I love that no matter what, no matter whether we are happy or sad, discouraged or filled with hope, afraid or courageous, peaceful or angry, Jesus is coming to gather us up once again, to love us, to dwell with us, to give us peace, especially if our hearts and souls struggle right now. We are getting closer to the shortest day of the year and the longest night. We are drawing near to the birth of Christ. In that journey towards Christ, let us find peace once again. One of my favorite authors of all time, Madeleine L'Engle, wrote this poem about Jesus, our Emmanuel, returning to us this Advent season. Her words capture the hope, the peace, and the possibility that no matter what, disease, illness, war, poverty, despair, nothing will prevent Christ from breaking into this world again this year to love us. Here's the poem, First Coming. He did not wait till the world was ready, till men and nations were at peace. He came when the heavens were unsteady and prisoners cried out for release. He did not wait for the perfect time. He came when the need was deep and great. He dined with sinners in all their grime, turned water into wine. He did not wait till hearts were pure. In joy, he came to a tarnished world of sin and doubt. To a world like ours of anguish, shame, he came, and his light would not go out. He came to a world which did not mesh, to heal its tangles, shield its scorn. In the mystery of the Word made flesh, the maker of the stars was born. We cannot wait till the world is sane to raise our songs with joyful voice. For to share our grief, to touch our pain, he came with love. Rejoice, rejoice. Let us return to Christ, looking for him everywhere. Peace is available even when the world seems like it's falling apart. Christ entered the world as a baby in a terrible time as well. Rome occupied Israel. Injustice was all around. Mary and Joseph were refugees. As we journey down this path, let us take comfort in the knowledge that Christ has always come when the world most needs him. Let us find the possibility of that true peace. Amen.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply echo back their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say what may the tidings be, which inspire your heavenly song. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see Christ, whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Please join me in our pastoral prayer. Merciful God, speak comfort to us. We are waiting for situations to change, for COVID test results, for vaccines to be released, for diagnosis, for treatments, for the start of a new life, for the end of suffering, for peace to come into this world. We are waiting for the one who cries in the wilderness. We are waiting for the Messiah, for God with us, to enter this world. Sometimes it seems the waiting will never end. Sometimes it seems that we are stuck in this waiting time for COVID to end that will go on and on forever. Merciful God, speak comfort to us, not in the red and green of shop windows and the relentless online advertising urging us to buy now or fail to receive a once-a-year discount. The pressure to order the right presents is only exacerbated this year, as many of us will not be together this Christmas. What can we send that will show them how much we love and miss them? But our God, Emmanuel, who dwells with us, is here in the darkness of Advent, in the blues and purples, in the sadness in the longest night, and calls us to peace. Listen and hear God calling to you by name. You are loved, you are chosen, you are blessed. Into the silence, I invite you to lift up whatever you most need and pray for those whom you love both near and far. Today's offering invitation invites you to be part of the solution the world so desperately needs. Today, let us remember through our gifts, we participate in the tangible work of helping to build a more peaceful world. Let us turn these checks and texts into visible signs of peace that feed the hungry and buy coats for the homeless, support ministries here on Cape Cod and across the globe. Where we give demonstrates what we love. When we give to the church, we show our hearts as built to create plowshares out of swords. Your heart, your gifts, your love keep the work at West Parish, on Cape Cod, and across the globe going. I invite you to go to our website at www.westparish.org and click on the donate button, or mail in a check to West Parish at P.O. Box 219, West Barnstable, Massachusetts, 02668. And here's our prayer of dedication. Oh God, accept our offerings, the goodwill of our hearts. Turn our disappointments into hope, and our anger into plowshares of peace. Together we wait and wonder for the birth of Christ. Know that we are so grateful to partner in ministry with each of you. Together we can make a difference. I'm going to get really close to give you the blessing so you can feel my love. The stable abounds with animal sounds. The sky is an empty stage. But watch and wait, for the manger will sing with a newborn's cry, and a heavenly host will proclaim a new age. Peace be with us. And let the people say, Amen.
Have a great week, everybody.